So a lovely Nuffield coming through. Nuffield built in Bathgate in Scotland, named after Lord Stokes. Stokes, who was Mr. Morris, who became ennobled and took the name of Lord Nuffield, which is a village in Oxfordshire. And he decided to build a tractor and called it the Nuffield. There's not many left. But quite amazingly, the ones that are left are in very good condition. An early David Brown. A lady with a pretty hat on. So Ferguson linked up with David Brown, that didn't work, then linked up with Henry Ford. Eventually he started the grey Fergie. You'll see the ubiquitous grey Fergie at an ex-War Department factory in Coventry, and altogether there were 517,000, of which 2/3 went for export, not to the plains of America, I have to say. Started off with petrol, then went to TVO. Petrol, very expensive. And the gold engine used to mean that it was built in 1957, one of the last run. And those funny things hanging down with the chains on, if you went to cut the grass, you needed to scare the pheasants. You could have had a couple of spaniels, but you had those instead. Another Nuffield, you see. Wonderful condition. A strange looking machine. And Philip alongside it, is it English?
The David Brown 2D, Twin City. Also market garden in the 1950s.
Was it designed or built by a committee which never met?
I think it was a project that David Brown wanted, because market gardens needed, a tractor that could do a lot of jobs. The design was later sold to a firm called Russell's at Kirby Moorside, and they made stuff, but they were called Russell's. I think they were called 3Ds actually.
Very strange looking thing. And when did David Brown change the colour from cream and whatever it is to red?
They changed them in 1967.
Why?
Because the American dealers were selling a tractor that was brown and white, and David Brown modernised it so it suited the market in America.
Is this the centre of Nuffield excellence? Is that 4 we've got in this arena now?
Yes, you could have 4. I think it's all because of a firm called Burgess in Stafford. They have dealerships all over Cheshire, Staffordshire, Lancashire, and I think that's what got Nuffield, quite a good market at the moment.
I think there's not many in Yorkshire, I can tell you that. Alice Chalmers, American machine, but they took their production to a village, Essendon, which is near Cottesmore, just off the A1, just the early start of the war, and they were still building them up till when?
They were still building there till 1968.
It's a good run, wasn't it? It was worth coming.
Yeah.
So it's Alice Chalmers and always right. When Henry Ford went to register the name of his tractor in 1916, he said, "I'm Henry Ford, I've designed a tractor and we're going to call it a Ford." And they said, "No, you're not." Because somebody called Arthur Ford had just come in and registered another one, so we called it Ford and sun, and then they put it down. Let's have a word with this man. What's so special about a Nuffield?
They're just very good looking tractors and workout.
And they were based near Cheshire.
Pardon?
There's a big group of them in Cheshire and North Staffordshire.
Yes, there is. There's lots in that area. Lots.
Effective with them. What year is it?
1968.
When did they stop building Nuffield?
70-ish.
Then they became Leylands when they painted them blue. Massey Ferguson. 1957 was it the Massey Ferguson link-up?
Yes. Massey Harris Ferguson, yes.
Then they didn't fall out.
I don't think so. I think he was more of a takeover.
Harry Ferguson run out of money. He wanted to do it. Now, David Brown. I would say this is old.
Yeah.
What year?
1950.
1950. And you have a special curve bit on the front. Is that because it was a lady driver?
I don't know.
Bit of extra protection. It wasn't much though, was it?
No, you can still get black around it.
That's it. Why?
Why what? Well, that's to keep you warm in winter.
You keep it very warm, does it? Blimey. So why didn't all the others do it?
Well, Fordson did. Fordsons were quite good when you were sat down on them, but all the American stuff seems like you were sat in the middle of nowhere on the seat.
We'll move along. They're still coming in, Phil. Great Fergie, and the age of this one, what year?
1947.
One of the first ones. Runs on petrol.
Yes.
I hope you switched it off.
Yes, I have.
My goodness. Milk churns. Do we still do milk in this country? Yes, we do. Just about, yeah. Right. Great Fergie. 1957. Did they do all 1957s with a gold engine?
Yes, eventually they made them go to 12 months.
Why?
Well, Massey Ferguson was formed as an amalgamation between Massey Harris and Ferguson, and when the name changed to Massey Ferguson, the colour changed to red and grey across the board. That was a worldwide colour then.
But why the gold engine?
Well, it was a choice. The American ones were green and grey, the English ones were gold and grey, and it was believed to be a nice colour at the time, quite to the eye. The early ones were just grey, you see, so the gold gave it a bit more appeal.
Allegedly. Now on the front of this magnificent machine there is something which is possibly worth more than the tractor.
Probably.
And what is it?
It's a game flusher. I will show you. It sets out and it runs in front of the mowing machine and it scares all the game and the birds so that you don't
Kill them.
don't kill them. They were also used quite widely in lavender fields so that the lavender, the oil, didn't get damaged with blood from animals that you'd killed.
Not the lavender getting frightened.
Not the lavender.
Lavender wasn't. Well, yes, let's open it up. I love a demonstration. Yes, if you're going through a narrow gate on the way out, just remember, shut it, right? So there we are. Hang on. Brilliant idea. Did it work?
It worked, but they were very expensive and very few were sold.
Which makes this extremely valuable.
A rare item, yeah.
You can see I'm not going to tell him how much it's worth. He's going to ask me in a minute. No, I'm not going to tell him. Another Nuffield, a couple of Nuffields. Oh, an old Fordson. We've gone past a couple of Nuffields, and this is a Fordson. What year?
38, 39.
Make your mind up.
Take your pick. 39.
It was late December.
Yes.
Why is it orange?
Well, that's the colour. I think they wanted to compete with the American market, didn't they, Mr. Bourne, to make them stand out.
So because of the war, they changed it green because the German bombers could spot them.
Yeah, they stuck out like a sore thumb when they were bright orange, didn't they?
Love it. And it's still going.
Yeah, it's still going. It's work in progress. We're doing a few jobs as we go along, but the biggest thing is getting it out and enjoying it, isn't it? So
it is indeed. Has a Yorkshire registration number. West Riding. He doesn't know that. He's not old enough. Who's got the motor standard? German. Right. What's the engine size of this?
12 horsepower.
What's that in cc's?
I don't know. Not a clue.
Neither have I. Neither have anybody out there. And when was it built?
Germany. We're in 1966.
For light work.
For light work. Horticultural work.
That'll do. And it's still working. David Brown Selectomatic. And another David Brown with that little folded thing, you see, which kept you warm, allegedly. Did they work?
Yes, definitely worked. If you drove one on a day like today, it'd be too warm.
You could have drilled holes in it then. Another Nuffield, built-in Bathgate. The Alice Chalmers. There's two of them. We're going mob-handed. Right, whose is this one? Right, what year is this one?
1940.
One of the first ones. Built in...
Not really, no. Well,
the first one...
The first ones are the styled.
Ah, and was this built in Essendon?
No, in America.
So this came across part of the Lend-Lease stuff for the war.
Before then, it was before Lend-Lease.
Yeah, we wanted tanks and stuff like that. They sent us tractors. Sorry, controversial.
Yeah, I say this was before the Lend-Lease scheme. It was an English import.
Still smart. Spent its life in Bedfordshire on a sprayer, and the one next to it is the year of
1940.
1940. Did they come out together in the American factory?
They would have been imported on the same year, yes.
And what was its working job? This was spraying. What was this one?
It was rescued out of the field and it had been used for land drainage in Staffordshire.
They don't look after the stuff, do they? They just don't look after them. You're looking after it, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Don't bring it out in the rain, do you?
No.
No. What we need is a muddy field. You can see all these big tractors, the big ones. All these tractors are in their static display down in the other field behind the sheep show. Get to the sheep show and keep walking, unless the sheep show's on, of course. Fordson Major Industrial. Now, is it true if a tractor was painted yellow, it was for industrial use?
Yes, by Muir Hill. It's a Muir Hill one, so everything they bought, they painted yellow. This is not quite the yellow because they used anything they got.
And where's Muir Hill?
Yeah.
When this would have been made, it was down in Gloucester.
So, painted yellow, which factory did it work in? Do we know?
I don't really know. The only one I know is it was for British Rail most of its life. And then the last 2 years it was Blackpool Beach, towing in and out of the lifeboats. And then I bought it and it had no tin work on it, so I've had to start from the chassis.
Did more work on Blackpool Beach than it did with British Rail, I would imagine. So that's what it says on this piece of paper, not my opinion, of course. Another Nuffield, as I say, because there was a big dealership in Staffordshire which spread into Cheshire, which is why this is a hot place of Nuffields with a BMC diesel. When did they change the engine, or did they not? Was it always a BMC?
They were originally Morris.
So next in the arena we're going to have our scurry driving. If you've never seen this, stay and watch. Fast and furious, scary, ooh, it's wonderful. If you can hear some crackling through the speakers, that is because the tractors are not fitted with the suppressors. Because if you're a farmer in Lancashire and Cheshire, you don't need a suppressor, do you? Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we have Harold Morgan, our world champion flycaster, doing demonstrations in the top end next to the duck rack, and you could register there for a free tuition session with a world champion. That doesn't happen very often.